So the initial was the nature through such is supreme ultimate emptiness, which you'll understand. Wisdom is knowing that the appearance of all phenomena are empty. So this is the fourth of the fourfold mindfulness. The virtuous fruit of Buddhahood is compassion for sentient beings. So this is about the virtues of the heart that we need to open up, completely uncomplicated and clean. So what does it mean by completely uncomplicated and clean? So because if our heart is compassionate, then this where they get the uncomplicated and clean, meaning the mind, which is the clarity of the mind. So purity of heart, clarity of the mind. So in Master's explanation, that we are covered. We have a true consciousness within us, but the problem is we are being powered by layers of incrustation in both our heart and the mind, and this is where the ignorance is about, because we cannot see through from all these powers of that we have accumulated over innumerable lifetimes. So as a result of which we rely on our sixth root, on our mind. So we attach to the sound and the word spoken, and so because the way we've been brought up in this world, and that's what we've been taught to do. We've been educated to do that. So, but then we need to understand that in the Dharma, the appearance of all phenomena are empty. So we shouldn't riled up by the words people say to us. So for those, sometimes we hear unsavory words were spoken to us. So when we hear savory words, we should be grateful for those words. That if a bad speech is spoken to us, we should be understanding. So the Buddha told us all sentiments intrinsically have the Buddha nature, and then that's what we have to do in the process of the cultivation to arise, or rather to illuminate that inner nature or the pure nature within us. So next one on the state of practice. Now the young children referring to is, if I could just use the word, I can't think of a better word to describe this. These are like young souls, and they so these young souls, they have not encountered, either they have not encountered Dharma in a past lifetime, or did not form a strong affinity. So in this lifetime, they're in the same situation. So therefore, that's why we have a mind. Our mind, when we have to make the choices, even though some of these are the young souls, doesn't mean that they cannot practice. They can, but they have to make the choice to walk the path earnestly. So the roots of wisdom are shallow, and they have not yet encountered great virtue. So there's a reason why they have to take this step forward in this lifetime. And if they take one step, the journey of the 1,000 miles start with the first step. So this is the part that they have to do, and recognizing that's the reason why one of the things that first we need to do is self-analysis. We need to get to know ourselves. Though they see we're just people and they want to join, they're unable. And this is, I'm not sure whether you recall this, but there was some weeks ago that I mentioned about spiritual endowment. And I mentioned that even in our practice, we need to have this spiritual endowment, that it creates the merits, if you like, to be able to get into practice, which I don't have time to get into this, because this endowment, for me, they are very important endowments. So the Buddha, for the sake of enabling these foolish beings to awaken, quickly awaken to the suffering of the world, and taught that world transcending roots of goodness, and this is both the heart and the mind. So the lessons learned, I must say, there's 1 in a trillion true sage will manifest in this world, and also Kalpas also measured in trillions and not millions. So therefore, we can appreciate that we still have the Buddha Dharma here, and we would be able to practice. Now, the Buddha must mention, Buddha descended from Sita heaven. I mentioned this line because if you recall, I think a few days ago, my master mentioned different levels of heaven. And within the Kamaloka, there are 6 levels of heaven. And to Siddha heaven is 1 to the third level of heaven, coming from within the 6th level. And that's where they would teach before they come down, this early place. So when I help children escape the house without being injured, meaning that we all have this innate world transcending roots of goodness. So we have the underlying Buddha nature in all of us. All we need to do is to cultivate, to illuminate that goodness. So in contemplation, a very short one. Blessed is the one who is well endowed. And back to the point earlier, that this endowment, that someone who is able to practice, to encounter a teacher, the Dharma, and the condition to practice, is all from past life accumulation. Awakened is the one who learns. So even the one who is endowed to do this, but we need to be awakened. So therefore, we must need to take steps forward to learn. And wise is the one who practice. And not only must learn, we need to learn to practice. On relationship, these are relationships in the making. And this is something that I contemplated on. This is going back for some years back now. So each learning from each person you meet is a pollen in the making, but the beauty and the fragrance of your inner nature to blossom so that you can cross-pollinate the beauty of the good character to others. So therefore, you could learn the good character from others. You also learn the bad character from others so that you, with the Dharma, can develop the beauty of your character. Okay, Gan En brothers and sisters, sorry I have to rush today.
Thank you so much, Brother Chin. Yeah, before we release Brother Chin, Sister Kaping and Sister Siuping, can we all on our videos? We'll take a quick group photo of all of us for believers. Morning, brothers and sisters. Yes, so wonderful to see all of you every morning. Yeah. Okay, Sister YY, you ready? Okay, good. Gan En.
Thank
you
you
so much, Brother Chin. Sister
Amitabha.
Kaping. Take care.